At this point, you guys, I don't know how this is happening. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Empties video. We do these every so often, I want to say quarter, maybe a little bit more than that. Now to give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer, not all of these products necessarily were opened in this last couple of months and then finished in the last couple of months. It's simply just products that I have finished. I do test a lot of products in all different categories, so I think that's why I just constantly have a cycle of empties, and I definitely think that this is a lot, but I do really appreciate having these empties videos in order to give you guys my entire viewpoint of a product from start to finish. I will be leaving all of the products that I can in the description box down below. Now granted, there's going to be a lot of products, so I may not be able to put the full names of each product, but I will have them listed in a link where you can see all of the products and their full names. Alternatively, I will have all of this tagged in the YouTube shopping tab right here so you can easily find them. First thing is the top of the basket here. I do have 3 of these jumbo size TheraBreath oral rinses. It's just mouthwash, and I have these jumbo sizes because we purchased them from Costco. I've been using these for years now, but I never thought to include them in the empties videos until very recently. As you can see, we really enjoyed this mouthwash. It's one that truly feels like it kills all the bad bacteria that causes bad breath, and I think it leaves me with a really good clean. The one that's available at Costco is the Invigorating Icy Mint, so that's the one that we get. It comes in a 2-pack, so this is 1 pack, and then this one, and then I have another one in my bathroom currently. It's just the best. It's really nice. It doesn't leave you with any burning, super extreme minty feelings, and I really appreciate that about this. So really quickly, I want to go over the things that I have reoccurring in my empties videos, starting with my toothpaste. The Boca toothpaste is my favorite toothpaste. I love this one because it leaves my teeth feeling really fresh and clean. I do feel like it helps with cavities, like preventing cavities, because I am very cavity prone. I love the texture of this. It's kind of like more of a gel cream type of texture when it comes to toothpaste, and I really enjoy that. I have this one, the whitening one, and my usual Element flavored one. This does have obviously a different flavor to it and a little bit of a different texture. I would say that it's less gel and a little bit more cream. However, I will say that I think the whitening aspects to this does actually work, because as I was using this, I was being told that my teeth looked very white, and I was only using this because I do have Invisalign, so I do have brackets, so I'm unable to do my usual whitening strips for maintenance. So I decided to try out a whitening toothpaste, and I think it works because everyone still thinks that my teeth look pretty nice. So I'm happy with that one. My Panoxyl Acne Creamy Wash, the 4%. This is my usual nightly face wash. This is what I use. It helps so much with my breakouts and preventing acne and just keeping the skin clear. I like to use this by slathering it on like a face mask in the shower, and then I'll leave it on for like 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'll kind of rub it into the skin and use it as a normal face wash. So one, surprisingly just one, but I am almost out of the one I have in the shower currently. Now in my last empties video, I did talk about this product. This is the Osea Algae Body Oil. So I will play a little refresher here for you guys. Okay, let's talk body care now. So this is one that I was referencing earlier where I ended up coming back to it and I fell in love with it, you guys. The Osea Algae Body Oil. So this is like a cult classic, and this one smells so good. So at the end of that little rant that I had in the video, I did say that I wanted to restock on this and I was probably going to repurchase it. So I'm very excited to announce that Osea is sponsoring this video today, and they gave me this new body oil that I have already cracked into. Now, what I love the most about this body oil is that it absorbs into the skin, but it leaves you feeling really soft and hydrated. For me, I like to apply this right after a shower when my skin is still slightly damp, and I find that it melts into the skin the most that way. Or alternatively, like I mentioned before, I like to kind of mix this body oil with other body products, and what I've been mixing it with is this body serum from Osea. It's the hyaluronic body serum. It almost feels like a thicker serum and a thin, lightweight moisturizer. I feel like my skin looks extra hydrated and it gives me like a full body glow. Even when I apply this at night, in the morning I wake up and my skin feels hydrated, it looks plump and glowy, and I feel like it really helps with any like dry, crepey skin spots that I have, specifically on my legs, because that's where I get it the most, especially during the summertime. And because this has the Undaria seaweed, this is rich in antioxidants, amino acids, and vitamin C, which is why it has hydration that lasts all day. And I still can't get over the scent of this. I have it on right now and it just smells like summer to me. It smells so good, slightly citrusy, but still really, really fresh. It almost smells like something that you would expect to smell in a spa treatment. I am so happy to have a restock of this body oil, and if you're interested, you can get 10% off with my code. Let's move into the makeup category. I do have a couple of products here, and the first one being the Iris and Romeo Weekend Skin Warm Glow. Now this is a mineral sunscreen that has some tint to it and a little bit of like a pearlescent glow, which actually translates as really hydrated, very plump looking skin. I really like that it translates more as like a pearlescent glow versus being glittery on the skin, because sometimes when a mineral sunscreen says that it has glow to it, it can just look like silver specks of glitter, which I don't like. Since this is a mineral sunscreen, it does have a little bit of a thicker texture to it versus something like, say, a tinted moisturizer, but it doesn't feel as thick as other mineral sunscreens that I've tried. I actually really liked using this alone and putting like concealer on top of it, so it essentially was working as my base. Or alternatively, what I used it the most as was a glowy primer, similar to something like the Say Super Glowy Gel. I use this instead, and the benefit is that this has some extra protection with that sunscreen. Now this one did expire on me. It expired in August 2025 and I didn't realize it. I had it still in my collection, and I've slowly been picking through and making sure that things are still good within my collection. And normally I would be okay with continuing to use something like a primer for longer than its best by date, but since this is a sunscreen, I am a lot more weary about keeping sunscreens after they've expired. So I am going to go ahead and toss this one, unfortunately. Next is my Kosas Brow Pop Nano. This is in the black brown shade, and you guys know I absolutely love this little nano micro brow pencil. The spoolie is nice and small, so you can really get in there, and it's slightly more stiff, so you have a lot of control when you're brushing through your brows. And the texture and the formula of the pencil is a little bit more waxy, but still not too much to where you're just getting wax versus pigmentation. So this paired with a good brow gel, it keeps my brows looking nice and feathery all day long. I keep these stocked up. I already have another one that I'm working through. You guys know that my Hair and Make Advanced Film Long and Curl Mascara is my go-to holy grail mascara. This is a Japanese beauty brand, and the reason I love this is because it is ultra waterproof and it keeps the curls staying up all day. I will say that as the years have progressed, for some reason or another, I've seen that this is starting to kind of smudge under my eyes. I'm not sure if it's because I have older tubes and the older tubes may be degrading as they're sitting there waiting to be used. I'm not quite sure what it is, but my fix for that is to use a tubing mascara on top, because that essentially will coat every single lash and keep this mascara from smudging off. So it's a really easy fix for me, and I really don't mind doing it. This does have fibers in it, so it allows you to get a lot of length, a lot of volume, and my favorite thing about it is that I can use it as a primer for other mascaras, so it keeps my curl up all day. And I put this in the makeup category because, I mean, it deals with makeup even though it's kind of a remover. This is the Hair and Make Mascara Remover. This one looks like a mascara, but it is not. It has like this brush, or actually this more comb looking thing, but on it is makeup remover. It's essentially a blend of different oils, and you just comb it through. It makes it really, really easy to use on the mascara, and this is pretty much the only thing that will remove that Hair and Make mascara that I just talked about, but I use it for all of my mascaras. I can use it on tubing mascaras, waterproof mascaras, regular mascaras, you name it, this gets rid of it. I just comb this through through on my lashes before I get into the shower, and then right before I hop in the shower, I'll take like a small little cotton and I'll wipe it off, because I do find if I try to rinse it away with water, oil and water don't mix, so it kind of just becomes this film. So you're able to wipe it off with a cotton and then it's good to go. It's all gone and you don't have to tug or pull or like mess with your lashes anymore. Like I said, I was kind of going through my collection, including my skincare and makeup collection, and one of the things that also expired on me, and this is totally my bad, is this Round Lab sunscreen stick. This is just a clear sunscreen stick right here, as you can see. This one, oh, well, it fell out. This is what it looks like. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. This one expired in January, and I do have other sunscreen sticks that I kind of reach for more anyways. So again, because efficacy does get affected once sunscreen expires, and because I have other ones that I want to make a point to use before those expire, I went ahead and added this to the empties list. But this one is a very popular sunscreen stick, specifically because it gives you a lot of coverage, or at least it feels like it. You can actually feel it going on. It like melts down when you put it on the skin. And then once you rub it in and it absorbs into the skin, it almost gives you a slightly satiny finish. If you've ever used the Beauty of Joseon matte one, that one feels more on the mattifying side, and then the Abib one is more hydrating. This one feels like it's right in between those two. I liked using this on my arms and my hands whenever I was driving, actually. That's my favorite form of use for sunscreen sticks. It's just so much easier to apply it that way when you're on the go. Another sunscreen, and I use this one up completely, I love these airless pump type of sunscreens because it allows you to get everything. Granted, I could have like snipped this one open, but I was pretty happy with the amount that I got out of here. This is the Versed Daily Sunscreen SPF 50. They do have a mineral sunscreen, but this is going to be a really beautiful chemical sunscreen, and it has a nice blend, and it's completely colorless. It does come out like a colorless gel. It has this really light gel texture, and I would recommend this sunscreen to anyone that doesn't like the feeling of sunscreen, because this is the most comparable to a regular moisturizer. It blends in very, very easily. No white cast, doesn't have that like dry oil type of feel, but I will say that it will leave you extra dewy and glowy. So if you don't like that, you may not like using this alone, but whenever you put makeup on top of it, you really can't tell. Like, it pretty much acts like a moisturizer. You could probably even skip moisturizer and just do the sunscreen if you wanted, because it's that moisturizing. I really enjoyed this one. I do have another one opened, and I actually have it at my sister's house. So whenever I go there, I have a sunscreen that I can reach for that I know that I really enjoy. This one is from Nivea. It's the UV Deep Protect and Care Gel Sunscreen SPF 50 plus PA plus. And this one, me and my husband purchased in Japan. This is actually his favorite sunscreen, and one that he has already repurchased when he's taken a trip to Japan, like work trips. And like it says, this is going to be a really nice gel texture, but it's more of a runny, milky gel texture. It comes out like a liquid, milky lotion, and it rubs in very, very well. This is going to be another chemical sunscreen, so there's not going to be any sort of white cast. It feels slightly hydrating, but it doesn't leave you looking super glowy and greasy and oily, I guess. It absorbs completely just like a regular moisturizer. This version does have alcohol in it, so you can kind of smell that alcohol scent to it. I think that they have ones that don't have alcohol, but Japan, really, a lot of their products, they're not too worried about having alcohol in a lot of the products. Even though I do have acne prone skin, this one didn't break me out, even though it does have that alcohol in it, but I can understand why people would want to steer clear of a sunscreen that does have it. Either way, the form of this, the texture, the feel, the way it absorbs, really nice experience. And it does say something that my husband enjoys it, because he is not one that likes skincare that doesn't feel like it absorbs. He has to have skincare that actually absorbs into the skin but leaves his face feeling hydrated good without that oiliness. Last sunscreen is the Dalba UV Essence Waterful Plus. This is an SPF 50 plus. What is this? Is this a chemical? It doesn't say, but if I had to guess, I would say this is a chemical sunscreen. So this one I got in PR like a long time ago, and I used this one up completely. As you can see, it has those ridges because I used my paint squeezer thing to get everything out of here. I didn't cut this one open either, but I'm considering it because I just used my paint squeezer on another tube of sunscreen and then I cut it open and there was still some kind of hanging out right here. So I may just go ahead and do that after this video. This sunscreen is nice, but to be honest, it wasn't my favorite product from Dalba and it wasn't my favorite sunscreen in general. So it does have that runny texture, but it has a bit of body to it. So when you put it on and you rub it into the skin, it almost feels like that dry oil feeling, you know? It does leave me looking a little bit purple because the sunscreen is white. So at first when I'm rubbing it in, there is a tinge of purple to it, but then after like 2 to 5 minutes, it fully absorbs and that goes away completely. So I didn't have an issue with using this because of that. This is also one that's going to leave you looking very hydrated and dewy. The first one is definitely a little bit more greasy looking, and this one is a close second to that. But again, not an issue when you put makeup on top of it. I really didn't have any issues with this at all. I did enjoy it, but it wasn't like my favorite experience with the sunscreen. Let's move on to skincare. So the first one I want to talk about is a little bit controversial, I will say. So this is the Kobayashi eye wash, and I bought this when I was in Japan with my husband. It has this little cup that you fill up to the line and then you put it against your eye, you tilt your head back and you blink a couple times just to thoroughly wash out the eye. So I love this. I was using this very regularly. I won't lie to you guys. I also recommended it in a past video, and I do have to apologize because after that, I did look into it more when I was trying to like find the link for this, and I found that this is only recommended to use every so often. It's not something that you should be using every single day, kind of like what I was doing for a while. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, maybe I should kind of take it back a little bit. I still love this product and I love using it when I need a really clean, thorough wash of my eyes. And what I mean by that is, you know, after a day of filming or testing makeup products, if I'm wearing a lot of eyeshadow, really heavy mascara, if I have glitter on my eyes, anything like that, I find that after I wash my face, if I use this, I'll have like makeup and gunk and stuff. So that's when I'll use it. I think using this for very specific cases is how I'll be moving forward with this, because typically, you know, your tears or what is it called? Like false tears or, you know, just like eye drops are more than enough to really give you moisture and clean out the eyes. My Prequel Cleanser Plus Salicylic Acid Cleanser, they do have one that doesn't have salicylic acid, but because I am acne prone, it is a requirement for me to have some sort of acne type of face wash. So this is the one that I use in the mornings. This is a huge bottle, you guys. One pump is enough for the entire face and neck. So this lasted me such a long time, and I already have a fresh jar or fresh bottle that I'm currently using. I love this. Now I know not everyone likes the texture of the cleanser. It's like this jelly texture. It's kind of slimy, almost like snail mucin, but I like using this by pumping it out onto dry hands, and then I'll really lather it in my hands, kind of creating this foam, and then I'll apply it onto my dry skin. I won't go straight in because I find that just takes a little bit longer, and I do feel like once you foam it up on the hands and then put it on the skin, I feel like it just penetrates and gets really deep in there, and you get to that more cleansing property faster. I just apply all over the skin. I really rub it in, and then I will incorporate some water and kind of continue rubbing until I wash all of it off. It's really easy to get off of the skin when you use it that way, and I feel like it leaves the skin not feeling stripped. It feels very clean, and because it's like that jelly foamy texture, it doesn't strip the skin the same way that some salicylic acid body or not body, face washes can do on the face. So I have this In Beauty Project Elastic Skin Serum. There's gonna be a few products here that I used specifically on my neck and for different reasons. This is one that I started using mainly on my neck. I did use this on my face for quite some time, but then I was like, let me start using it on my neck and my décolleté. So this does have that same texture and property as snail mucin, like from CosRx, where it's a little bit of that slimy, stringy texture, but this is going to be vegan because it does use wild yam extract, so it doesn't have any of the snail mucin in it, but it has very similar benefits. It has copper peptides and that phytomucin in it, and it gives you that same hydrated, sort of plump feeling to the skin, like you can kind of see it, especially on the face, but mainly on the neck. I thought I would use it because my neck is where you see the most dynamic wrinkles and just more set in wrinkles in general as I continue to age. I feel like my neck is where I'm seeing it the most. So with these more anti-aging wrinkle type of targeted products, I feel like I can see the most difference when I use it on my neck. So that's why I used it there. I did find that the texture is slightly heavier than a snail mucin because it has a little bit of that creamy texture to it. So on my neck, it was perfect for that. I will say that I think it made my neck feel really, really soft when I was using it, but I don't think that it had super crazy results in terms of smoothing out and making my, my wrinkles disappear. This is a good product, as I said, but this container I find is quite deceiving, and I do find that's the case with a lot of In Beauty Project products. I love them, but it can look a lot bigger. They're using the illusion of bigger products. This is only 1 fluid ounce and it is refillable, but this is essentially the same size as this right here. And I'll even show you when you take it out, this is the size of the product that you're getting versus the container. So there's no false advertising per se. It does say 1 fluid ounce and they do give you 1 fluid ounce, but it definitely looks like you're getting a lot more bang for your buck because of this container. So I will say it is quite an expensive product when you look at it in this size, you know what I mean? I really like it, but I think that I would press pause and use the products that I have before considering repurchasing this one, just because it is quite expensive. Let's talk about this one that I just held up, the Cocoa Kind Chlorophyll Discoloration Serum. So essentially I use this one in place of my usual vitamin C serums after I had used up my last one, and this was a surprise favorite for me. At first I felt like it wasn't really doing much. So this is geared towards more sensitive skin, like I have. Well, I wouldn't say I have sensitive skin. I do have acne prone skin that can teeter on sensitive because it is sensitive to acne. Am I making that up? Does that make sense to you guys? Because it makes sense as I'm saying it. It does have this like green tinge to it, which is the chlorophyll. It made it really fun to put onto the face, I'm not gonna lie. It does have like a jelly texture to it, and I think because it is more geared towards sensitive skin, the chlorophyll discoloration serum is more gentle. So I feel like at first I was like, oh, I'm not really seeing anything. But by the time I finished this bottle, I really, like looking back at what my skin looked like, I really do feel like it helped to make my hyperpigmentation decrease and look less noticeable. My skin looked brighter overall. And I was like, wait, this actually worked really well on the skin. So I will say that it is a slow going product, but it's going to work. It's really good. I want to get another bottle of this, but I do have a couple of vitamin C serums I want to use up and try to test out before I go back to this one, but I definitely have this on my wish list. I have the Medicate Liquid Peptides. This is a 30% complex of hydrating peptides, and this is essentially just peptides, and nothing wrong with just peptides. It's going to be a concentrated amount that doesn't have a blend of other products. It's pretty standard, and I will say that I liked using this on the face, but like I said, I have other skincare products that have blends of peptides within them that I was already using. And to keep my skincare, my face skincare regimen a little bit less complicated, I thought I didn't really want to add another step of something that my other products already have. So in order to use this, I used it on my face for a little bit, but then again, I mainly used it on my neck. And I think that was super beneficial because it gave my skin a lot of hydration. It kind of plumped up those lines again. I think it looked like it smoothed out the skin, and I also feel like it slightly tightened up the skin down here. I did take off the little stopper so I could get all of the product out of here, but I really liked it. It is very expensive though, so I will say if you already have products that have the peptides in them and you feel like it's doing the job that it needs to do, I wouldn't recommend just getting this if you didn't have a specific case scenario that you wanted it for. Another product that is kind of more anti-aging, this one's from Misc. This is the Volume Up Time Block Serum, and it has volufiline 5% and beta-glucan 40%. Beta-glucan is for hydration, and then volufiline is supposed to be a plumping anti-aging serum or ingredient. It helps with lost volume in the skin. It just like helps to plump up any sunken skin. And I do feel like it does do that. It does plump, it does hydrate, and it doesn't irritate the skin. People are calling this liquid Botox. I wouldn't go that far if I'm being completely honest, but it definitely does help give you a little bit more of that like volume. It's very interesting to see it in action. Again, I use this a lot on my neck because I felt like I was going to see the most difference when I was using it on my neck. I was using it on my face and it did fine. It didn't break me out. It didn't irritate the skin. If anything, it kind of like added a little bit of moisture to the skin, which was really nice. But because I wanted to experiment, I used it a lot on my neck. And out of all of the products that I used on my neck specifically, I think that this one had the most noticeable difference when it came to my fine lines and my wrinkles and the texture there. I definitely would get this again. I'm currently using the Volume Up Essence, which is more of like a toner, but I think I prefer the serum because you can kind of target it and it kind of feels like it's a little stronger. This is the Naturium Retinaldehyde Cream Serum 0.10%. I went ahead and skipped up to the 0.10%, but they do have a 0.05%, and I think they have a level stronger than this one. But again, it's going to be in one of those airless pumps, so you can get every last bit of this product out of the tube. And this was the first time that I used this retinaldehyde. I saw Jane the chemist on Instagram talking about it and I was like, I want to try it. So I finally did and I really liked it. First of all, it has this really fun highlighter green color to it, which was again just fun to see and like use on the skin. But overall, I really liked this because it wasn't irritating on the skin like some retinols can be, which is really interesting because this is a retinaldehyde, which is stronger than your typical retinol because it does skip one of the steps to convert it to retinoic acid, which is what actually helps with wrinkles, fine lines, and like tightening of the skin and texture. There was no like breakout or purging stage with this. And I would definitely get this again. I am currently testing out the Prequel retinaldehyde because I wanted to see how that one compared to this, but I do like this. It's nice and creamy. You really only need one pump on the entire face and then maybe another pump on the neck if you choose to use it on your neck. And it's thin enough to where you can spread this out evenly and your skin absorbs it really nicely. The Beauty of Joseon Glow Replenishing Rice Milk. I'll be honest with you guys, I slept on this for such a long time. I actually had this sent to me years ago, I want to say. And then I was like, oh, let me just pull it out because I had finished a milky toner right before using this one. And I was like, oh, I want to add a milky toner to my routine. This was so good. So it is rice milk. So it's going to firm your skin and help with tone and texture in general. I felt like my skin looked so bright and soft and plump when I was using this. My skin tone was nice and even. It added a little bit of moisture, but it wasn't too heavy to where I couldn't put my other products on top of it. I just felt like my skin looked so soft and supple when I was using this. It was so good. This is on the same level for me as the tier one. I do have some tier bottles that I want to open up, but I would definitely get this one again. I love a milky toner, and the rice milk specifically I think works so well for really toning and tightening the skin. Ooh, my favorite cleansing oil, the Atelier Skin Clear Cleanse Oil. I think this may be my third bottle of this. I purchased this in Japan, and I had my husband pick up more for me when he was on a work trip. Beautiful cleansing oil. There's nothing that I have found in Western skincare that just compares to this one. The closest one I would say is the Peach and Lily cleansing oil, which is also super beautiful, but this one, it just hits different. They have a fragrance-free one and one with fragrance, and I just love the fragrance. It's kind of similar to the Osea Body Oil in the sense that it's slightly citrusy and very light and clean, and it smells like something they would use on you if you got a facial at a medical spa or something. It smells so nice. I love the texture of this because the oil is slightly thicker, so it feels very substantial. It has some body to it, but when you actually rub it into the skin, it thins out, it melts into the skin, and it doesn't leave you with a film of greasy oil. Like, it washes off completely, which is so nice. You can use this kind of as a hybrid. So you can use this on dry hands, on dry skin, and take it off like a regular cleansing oil. Or alternatively, you can rub this into damp skin and it kind of acts like an oil face wash, sort of. I've used it both ways, but I do prefer to use this as kind of like a dry cleansing oil. It's just such a nice experience, and you can get every last bit of this out. Like, you don't have to, you know, pour this out. The little pump gets everything out. I have this Paula's Choice Pro Collagen Peptide Plumping Moisturizer, and this is a really nice gel moisturizer. So there's creams and there's gels, and then there's something like this where it feels like it's kind of a hybrid between a gel and a cream moisturizer. It's kind of a thicker, more bodied gel texture, but it absorbs completely into the skin. It doesn't leave you feeling greasy. There's something about it that just like, it leaves you with hydration. I can use this morning and night. I usually have specific moisturizers for morning and for night, but this was one that I could use for both case scenarios. It does have that collagen peptide complex, so it plumps up the skin, makes it look really nice. It helps to balance the moisture as it kind of absorbs into the skin, and I really liked using this whenever I would use an active ingredient at nighttime. So it didn't feel too heavy, but it also felt like it was sort of calming the skin or keeping it calm and shielding it with like a barrier of moisture. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but it was really nice. It does say PM moisturizer, but there were definitely times that I used it in the morning and I really liked it. Here's another one that, you know, expired on me, my own doing. I'm trying to be better about that, you guys, but my La Roche-Posay Effaclar Duo Acne Treatment, this is a 5.5% benzoyl peroxide cream, and it does have this pinpoint needle applicator, so you could just get it onto your acne. And the reason I couldn't finish this, you guys, is because this tube is humongous. It is 1.35 fluid ounces, so even bigger than a regular serum, and I was only using this on pinpoint acne areas. For the longest time, I think the La Roche-Posay had taken it off the shelves so they could like reformulate it or rebrand or something, because I just recently was able to get a new tube of this, which I was really excited about because I was still using this and I could definitely tell it wasn't working as effectively as it used to. The formula was kind of changing on me, so very happy to have that new tube. So this one went into the empties bin. And then another moisturizer that I used specifically on my neck, you guys, the Dr. Dennis Gross Blur and Repair Cream. So I thought this was really interesting because it was supposed to give you kind of that blurred satin matte finish on the skin, but with a moisturizer. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. I liked it on the face. I thought it was really nice, but I really wanted to use this on the neck. And again, it has this creamy texture that dried down and absorbed into the skin. And I swear to you guys, I feel like it really helped with the fine lines on my neck. It didn't necessarily like tighten anything, but it did look like my skin was a little bit more like blurred whenever I was using it. And it does have that really nice like push top, so you get exactly the amount of product you need, and it pushed up all of the product. Really, really nice. This lasted me such a long time too. I feel like I had this for ever, and I definitely got my money's worth. I really, really liked this product. It's so good. And then one last thing that I was using on mainly my neck, but actually no, I use this on my face and my neck. It's the VT Cosmetics PDRN Glow Ampule. So essentially it's just an ampule in a mist form, and I really like the mist on this. I think the texture was thin enough to where you would mist it and it would be a really nice fine even mist. Typically when it comes to like a toner or, you know, a spray product, it has to have a micro mist in order to feel like it's not spitting at you, and this was just perfect. Also, a little detail that I liked, this PDRN, it is see-through, so you can see exactly how much product you have left, which was really nice. If you ever decide you want to restock on it, you know when to purchase it. But I liked this. It felt nice and hydrating. I feel like it prepped my skin for serums. I kind of treated it just like a toner. I could layer it with other toners without having any adverse reactions, and I really liked it again on my neck because it just gave me an extra boost of hydration. This one actually, I would use this on the face and neck. I just have so many products I'm already using on the face that I was like, let me use it on my neck and also my chest. So it helped with hydration and just firming up this area right here. So as you guys know, I kind of go back and forth on eye creams. This one for Peach and Lily I really liked. This is the Pure Radiance Brightening Eye Cream. It does have caffeine in it, and it's supposed to brighten and kind of depuff the skin, and I feel like it was so hydrating without like being too heavy under the eyes, and I could use it before going in with makeup like concealers and stuff, and it really added that extra hydration that I feel like I'm starting to really need for under my eyes. It's starting to feel a little more crepey. I feel like I have a little bit more of a fine line issue going on down here. So using an eye cream like this, where it's definitely super hydrating, was a must. I would say that this is hydrating, but without being too heavy. This one I could use under makeup, just skincare, like morning and night. I felt like it was such a good hybrid product, which I feel like kind of justified the price. Kind of, because for an eye cream or just a skincare product in general, you guys, this is $43. It's so expensive. So I definitely have to take a pause and try to decide if I want to repurchase it, because I really, really liked it. And I went through it without pausing. Usually with eye creams, I'll open a new one and then I'll try a new one and then I'll go back to it. But this one I use start to finish very consistently, and I really, really enjoyed it. So maybe if there's a sale, I'll pick it up again. But yeah, this is a good one if you're into eye creams. Speaking of moisturizers, I have this guy right here. As you can see, I completely used this one up. This is the Dew Instant Angel, and let me unfold her so you can see. I used it completely. Beautiful, beautiful moisturizer. It's creamy, but it blends really nicely, and it feels very plumping again, slightly firming. It just leaves the skin so soft and supple, and I really liked using this on retinol nights and recovery nights where I'm just using hydration, because I feel like it really locked everything in. Such a beautiful moisturizer. I have another one already, and I'm very excited to rip into that one, but it's so good. And I have never heard anyone say anything bad about Dew moisturizers, because they are just so elevated and sophisticated with their formulas, and they work. They work so well. Okay, and something that's kind of funny, I got all these little samples because Sephora had like the 100-point perks, and I was like, I really want to try this. So I got one, and then I got another, and I got another. This is the Sophie Pavitt Face Mandelic Clearing Serum. I wanted to see if this would work well in place of like my salicylic acid serums, and it did work really nicely. It was a nice and thin serum, but actually one of these I couldn't use because it came and it was separated, or it was gritty. Yeah, there you go. It has like bad texture. The formula probably got hot and then cold and then hot, and it separated. It was gritty and just not great, like crystallized in there. But the ones I was able to use, I did like them. I don't know if this was enough for me to test it to determine if I wanted to purchase the full size. I would consider purchasing them, but I didn't like fall in love just based on these little things. But I was very happy to get to test this out. All right, on to some body care products. So let's start with some body washes. This is a Salt and Stone Saffron and Cedar body wash. So this supposedly is just like Baccarat Rouge, and I didn't know when I bought this that it was supposed to smell like Baccarat Rouge. I've smelled Baccarat Rouge and I think it smells good, but I don't think it smells good on me. And then I kind of like forgot about it, and then I was like, oh, let me try this out because they wanted to send PR, and I was like, let me try this. And it smells so good. So then I was thinking maybe I do like Baccarat, but still no, it still doesn't smell great on me as a perfume. But I digress. As a body wash, it smells so nice. I'm sure you guys know what Baccarat Rouge smells like. It's saffron, it's warm, it's woody, it's a little creamy, it's a little musky. It smells wonderful in the shower. The Salt and Stone body washes are really nice. They're slightly a gel texture, but not too much where it's like slimy, you know. It lathers really well. It has a really strong fragrance, but it doesn't linger too long on the skin. That could be a good thing or a bad thing depending. I like the experience in the shower, like I mentioned. Really big bottle here, and it lasted me quite a long time. Me and my husband both were using this and we both really enjoyed this. Currently we have the bergamot and hinoki scent in our shower, and we really enjoy this texture and this formula. The next body wash I have is the Naturium Glow Getter Multi-Oil Body Wash. We just recently finished this one up, and I talked about this in another Empties video. I really enjoy this one specifically when it comes to the Naturium body washes. I gotta say, this is probably my favorite one out of all of them. It does come out more of an oil texture, and then it lathers up really nicely and becomes more of a bubbly body wash, and I like it because it leaves my skin feeling hydrated. And sometimes if I'm super lazy, I can skip lotion and it'll still feel quite hydrating. Like I don't feel dry and like stripped, you know. But the reason I love this one so much is it's probably the most effective thing that I've used for my KP and just dry spots on my skin in the shower. I do have a couple of KP scrubs and like lactic acid scrubs that I'm using and I'm testing and I've used for quite a while for my KP, but this overall just gets my skin more balanced, more hydrated. Somehow it just smooths out all of that KP wonderfully. It's so good for that, and surprisingly, because I wasn't expecting it to do that. So I really love this. Again, really big bottle that lasts quite a long time. Me and my husband both use this one. And then I have this L'Occitane body wash. I think they recently rebranded or they repackaged or something. So this is an older one, but this is the oil body wash. So it starts off more like an oil, very similarly to the Naturium one, but then it lathers up really nicely. And this one slightly stays a little bit more of a thicker oil texture before it really bubbles up, but I do appreciate that this does lather really nicely and it gives you a lot of like sudsy bubbles. It has a very strong almond scent though, so I will say if you're not a fan of that, you probably won't like this, because this one actually does linger on the skin for a little bit of time. I have a couple of refills of this, so I'm going to continue using this bottle and just refilling it that way, but I feel like I have a couple of body washes that I'm more excited to use versus repurchasing this one currently. The Saltaire Body Butter. This one is in the saltwater vanilla, which I thought or think is such an interesting, different approach to vanilla. So it definitely is a body of vanilla, but it has such a strong sea salt scent to it that works so well. It smells so sweet and salty and indulgent and beautiful. It smells lovely. I fell in love with this, but I will say that this is one of the scents where it is quite strong and I can kind of go in and out of phases of wanting to use it and wanting to smell like it because it's going to last a really long time throughout the day. I do have this in the body oil as well, and I actually really like combining this with like different body oils and stuff just to see how they smell, just to see how it feels. But this is very hydrating on its own, but it's still a body butter that you can easily blend into the skin. I hate a body butter that's just too thick and it's hard to like rub into the skin. This is nice and easy and it absorbs. and it leaves you feeling super, super hydrated. Like I said, I love this as a bedtime scent, but it's a perfect consistency for like a thick layer of moisture without it being oily and greasy if that's not your vibe. If you want something similar to a body oil in terms of moisture, this is a really nice one. I do want to try out their Coastal, I forget what it's called, but there's a new one. It's in a pink tub and it's Coastal Cove, maybe something like that. And then they have a new Shea one. I really want to try those scents. They sound so lovely. My Lush Sticky Dates. I finished up this body scrub, and Sticky Dates is such an indulgent scent. It smells like the holidays. It smells warm and cozy. And you know, if you know Sticky Dates, then you know it's like this brown sugar creme brulee. And the body scrubs from Lush are some of my favorites because it's a sugar scrub. So unlike a salt scrub, it's not as abrasive, but it's still very effective. The scrub, like the sugar to liquid ratio, is really nice. So it actually feels like it's actually exfoliating the skin, if you know what I mean. Really nice. The thing with the Lush body scrubs though, I can never use them up fast enough. Like they have an expiration date on them, I think, or best by date. And I'm always like months and months past that, but it's fine. It still worked and it didn't bother my skin whatsoever. My Lumi deodorant. This is the Vanilla Bliss one. I did a partnership with them a while back, and since then I've strictly used Lumi deodorants. My favorite use is the invisible cream. So it has a hard top right here, and then you just wind it up like a regular stick deodorant, but it's the paste that comes with, like, you know, the tube paste one. It's that, but you don't have to actually put it on your hands and apply it. You can just apply it like a regular stick deodorant. I love the scent of this. It's Vanilla Bliss, but it's definitely more of a warm versus cupcakey sweet vanilla. And I said this in a past empties video because I did empty one of these already in this scent. It kind of has a little bit of a stink to it already, but it works for some reason. It's like it keeps it from going sour on the skin. I don't know if that makes any sense, but really nice deodorant. I love these so much. I'm already using a new one. And then the Honey Shave Pillow. This is my favorite like shaving moisturizer thing. As you can see, completely used up. I will say I am taking a break from this, you guys, because I just go through these so quickly and they're quite pricey for a moisturizing product for shaving or anything like that, you know. But I do really love that it's in this form, so you can just easily like swipe it wherever you're gonna shave, and it's nice and hydrating. You can use this as a stick moisturizer outside of the shower, but I personally love to use it just as like a shave stick. So this is a really, really nice one. I have two hair products here. I thought I had already talked about this, but I looked back and I had actually talked about the conditioner. This is definitely my favorite drugstore shampoo conditioner combo. This is the Garnier Hair Filler Strength Repair Shampoo. It has all the things like that people are afraid of. It has silicones, all that stuff. But I find that my hair just reacts so well to this. It feels cleansing on the skin. It's not stripping. It leaves my hair so soft and smooth. It adds a lot of volume because it just cleanses the hair so well. And the scent of it is so good. It's slightly fruity, kind of like green apple scented, but it's nice and light and bright. And it works so well in the hair and it lasts for days after washing. Definitely a favorite. And I already have the shampoo conditioner combo in my shower. The Briogeo Farewell Frizz Conditioning Spray. I've had this under my sink for years and years, and I was like, I just need to finish this. And to be honest with you guys, when it comes to hair products, I kind of forget that I have them. Like I start using other ones and testing other ones, and I forgot how much I love this one because it works really, really well with my hair texture. It's not one of those leave-ins that when you spray it in a day after, it makes your hair greasy. This one somehow adds the right amount of hydration and moisture without going overboard. And the reason I think it works so well and what makes it stand out from other leave-ins for me is that it really does help with frizz. I feel like after I spray this into my damp hair and then I blow dry it, my hair is so smooth and so soft and frizz-free. It's really, really nice. I was like, dang, I forgot about this, and then I used it up so quickly and then I fell in love with it. So now I'm like, I'll probably repurchase it. Last couple items here, you guys. Something that I have emptied in the past, my Touchland hand sanitizer, and this is the Aloe You Scented one. I have another one that I recently opened. It's the mango one, and oh my gosh, that one's probably the best smelling one. Before, aloe was my favorite, but now the mango one cannot be beat. It smells so good. I feel like I started using this like way before it became like the super viral thing, and I just haven't stopped using it because I genuinely think it's a great product. It makes me want to use it. I have so many of these. And then my cocoa floss. I talked about this in a previous video, but I have like a big pack of them now, like different scents and flavors of them. This is such a good floss, you guys. I used to use the Crest Glide floss, but after using this, I can't go back because this is sort of like a twisted kind of rope floss, so it really gets in there and gets all of the gunk and nastiness out of your teeth. It is infused with coconut oil, which is really good for your teeth. It doesn't break on you. It just gets in there, a really good clean. And like I said, I have Invisalign, and I've been really prioritizing keeping my teeth clean, and that means with like mouthwash, toothpaste, and you know, floss and stuff. Oh, and my favorite feature about it is that it shows you kind of a guide on how much longer you have with your current floss, so you know when to reorder it, which I think is a really fun, very convenient feature. And then lastly, my Sniff detergent. I've been testing out a bunch of different detergents recently. I think this might be one of my absolute favorite detergents, you guys. This is in the scent Rain Check. It's a very clean scent without being like cotton or linen. It smells so bright and fresh and light on my clothes. I love it. It lasts so long. I also have the booster, and I appreciate that it has this measuring cup and it has like the measurements right here. But after a while, I was just eyeballing it. I could just tell, and I would just pour it in like that. And it works so well for cleaning my clothes. There's no residue or anything like that. And the scent lasts forever on my clothes, on my towels, on my sheets. All right, you guys, those were all of my empties. We had so much good stuff in this empties video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please share with me in the comments down below what you have recently emptied and what you have been enjoying in your own collection. Again, if you guys are interested in trying any of Osea's products, specifically the body oil, I will leave that promo code for 10% off for you guys in the description box down below. Until next time, you guys, I'm going to leave a playlist right here of all the empties videos I have done thus far in case you're interested in seeing even more in-depth reviews of products. I hope you take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye.